with that one better. I think I'm cool with that one. Put the poll question in here. All right. Here we go. Got a poll question, and you need note-taking materials today. Second device. Take that second device and go to turnarounddoctor.com. Scroll down. Well, go to the 74 Principles for Leadership. Go to the natural section, and we are talking about grow continually today. That being said, go ahead and get your mind right. Let it know we're getting ready to use it today. 3 deep breaths in and out. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic is grow continually. How do we get here? Neurogenesis, that's the creation of new neurons. You turn those into neuroplasticity, which is having those neurons have synapses, and now you have what's called neural pathways. You take those concepts and you combine it with neuropability, which is the brain's ability to use the 74 principles of real leadership to wire itself to unlimited neural pathways to personal accountability, all leading to the road of your best life, day in and day out. This magic happens in the frontal lobe, specifically in the executive function of the brain, which is commonly referred to as the CEO of the brain. Without further ado, let's use the executive function of your brain today. Now we are in natural of real leaders wear pink, and we are starting with number 1 in which is to grow continually. For those of you who want to find out more about the principles of real leadership, go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership tab in my YouTube channel. Start at the bottom, work your way up. I give an overview, and now I'm going through each individual principle every day. Well, not every day, because there was Wired Wednesday, until I get to 74, and we actually have 16 left. Good morning, Regina. So we have 16 left, counting the one for today. So we're about 18, 20 days out because of Wired Wednesday. And if, like yesterday, I had an assignment and it went differently. Good morning, Sophia. Do you plan to stay, or are you just here to hear good morning? Are you going to take notes and stay? Or are you just seeing who will say good morning to you on lives? Are you planning to stay and learn about how to grow continuously and use notes and actually use what I'm saying? Or do you just want to shout out? Grow continually. And so what I've done after I've reviewed all of them, I'm now going through them individually to the point where I'm defining every word in the totality so that you can understand how to wire your brain to neuropability so that you can be personally accountable and become your best. Okay, with that being said, number 1, the definition is grow. And grow means to improve or develop over time, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Grow means to improve or develop over time, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. And I am working on a Dr. Donna's dictionary because often when I'm doing my research, emotions show up. And if I see emotions, then I can just replace it with feelings. But when I see emotionally, I don't like feelingly. It doesn't flow with the ly. So I'm working on that to replace emotions because emotions reside in the limbic system, specifically with hijacked amygdalas and your fight or flights. And so you're emotional and you can't process emotions properly if you are not using your frontal lobe to do that. So I am working on a new word that combines emotionally and turn it into feelingly. So I saw that this morning, and a couple more times where I have to use it because I don't have a replacement as of yet. Number 2 is continually. And let me remove this. Okay. And continually. That is without interruption, constantly. Without interruption or constantly. And when you combine grow continually together, what you end up with is to keep increasing, developing, or improving without stopping over time. I'm going to say that again. To grow continually means to keep increasing, developing, or improving without stopping over time until you're no longer here. So you start growing and you keep growing, and then you stop the day after you're no longer here. Those are the rules. That's when you can stop. Okay, are we clear about grow continually? If you haven't done so already, go ahead and answer the poll question. And I pose a question to you this morning before we get into the meat of this live. Why is it difficult for people to grow continually? Why is it difficult for people to grow continually? And if you are thinking emoji, thinking emoji, something to let me know that you are actually listening and considering answering the question. The question is, why is it difficult for people to grow continually? Why is it difficult for people to grow continually? Kevin says they have constant interruptions or disturbances by unaccountable people. Yes, it's easy to become comfortable where you are. Growing takes work. Yes. Y'all taking my notes. No. Everybody's stealing my answers this morning. Yes, growth is painful. And if you have my book, you know I use the example of a baby teething and they don't want to grow, but they get those teeth in and they're like, hey, chicken, pie, this is great. Can I have a sandwich? And so that teething process is painful for everybody. And then it's over. And now you have these new things, these new resources that you can use to bite things, to eat, put more stuff in your mouth if you're a toddler, baby, infant. And it works out. Yes, those are two viable answers. And when I was doing this morning, I don't know why I didn't feel like doing this one this morning. And I think as I'm sitting here, is that the amount of people who don't want to grow is a very large number. And I'm like, okay, here I go saying grow again. But this is for today and it is for the future for people when they actually do want to grow. But people actually don't want to grow. They want to purchase things that make them look like they're progressing. They want to, good morning, Lola. They want to appear to be growing and changing. And so they change the outside. And that appears, if you don't know that the emperor has no clothes on, then you think is growth. So people confuse growth and progress. So if you get promoted at your job, then it looks like you're progressing up the ladder. If you go from a studio apartment to a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom to a house to a bigger house to a mansion, then it appears that you are actually growing. But that's just appearances. That's not necessarily the case. You can go and sycophant and ass kiss and everything else and get promoted at the job, and then you could just take you to all those different locations and zip code changes, city changes, and everything else, and you can still be the same you that started in that 1-bedroom studio. Or because I've always moved, this is as long as I've lived somewhere in my adult life, I'm 14 and a half years, and same furniture, same bedspread, same everything. And I have grown the most in my entire life here than the rest of my life. I was 37 when I got here. So the first 37 years, and I have nothing on these last 14 and a half. So you actually don't have to change locations. Something that I was unaware of until I was stuck here at the 7-year itch. Like, now she in school. Okay, we stuck here for a minute. And then we tried to do a gap year and COVID came. So there you have it. And Nola's answer is they don't think it's a necessary part of life. And yes, so all very viable answers, and that's what I was alluding to as well, is if you are in your comfort zone and it's simple and you have all of your stuff and everything, then you don't think that it is necessary until you can't use your brain. And now you want to know what happened. And now you want to start blaming people about why didn't they and why didn't I know? And because you were busy shopping instead of learning. Ooh. Okay, so I have several answers for you today in addition to the ones that you mentioned, and there are 7, and it's several and 7. Okay, so it's difficult for people to grow continuously because real lasting growth, requires sustained effort. People don't sustain nothing but bad habits. Self-awareness, who wants to go within and find out who they are, and abilities, all of which can be challenging over time. So you got to really want to change to last. You got to be self-aware and adaptability. So you have to adapt to a changing environment. And who wants to do that when, we're 100 days out from college football and we're 100 days out from the NFL or 120 days out? Why would we do that when we got holidays coming? We got all this stuff we need to do, summertime, vacations, and everything else. So, of course, I'm not going to grow continually. So the number one answer is comfort zones. The number one answer is people naturally resist change. The brain is like, I want predictability. I got to go with my negativity bias. So no, I'm not going to change. And growth often requires stepping into discomfort, which can be mentally and emotionally, I told you, here goes that emotionally again, taxing. So it requires, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to step out of all these things that people know you for and go do some shit where you're unknown for. I've only been studying the brain for 7 months now. There are people, I just found somebody been studying the brain for 30 years yesterday. So he got me by 29 years and 5 months on studying the brain. I am a novice, a neophyte in this particular area of study. I'm not in the rest of it, but that's how my working memory continues to get new information. And you have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to, I'm still me, but when I didn't know how to use social media, I went to people who were younger than me that knew what they were doing. In theory, knew enough to give me some information for me to get started. And people don't want to do that. I've been doing this for 30 years. I will dare not ask a doggone Gen Z about anything. I gave birth to Gen Zs. Okay, well, that's why you're stuck in your comfort zone. And it can be taxing because it's like, wow, I have cognitive overload. It's just, oh my goodness, look at all this information that's coming in these terms and chemistry and biology and physics and all this information that I have to take when I just wanted to know why people couldn't be their best. And now I'm over here with brain backgrounds and t-shirts on and brain and theory of personal accountability and all these other things. And I was just like, yeah, but I was just trying to tell them how to be their best. That's how it goes. So again, comfort zones is number one. Number 2 is fear of failure or judgment. Here we go again with the unaccountable hating ass naysayers. Fear of failure or judgment. The risk of making mistakes or being criticized can discourage people from taking growth-oriented risk. The risk of making mistakes, or being criticized can discourage people from taking growth-oriented risk. Have you ever noticed that if you have a mentor, a coach, an educator, a leader that's actually interested in your current growth opportunity, when you make a mistake, they don't judge you for it. It's the unaccountable motherfuckers sitting on the sideline, the spectators and the haters eating bonbons and popcorn and cotton candy and shit that's got something to say. Motherfucker that can't do it always got something to say. Always got something to say. People that ain't never played a sport, football, or nothing else, that they are one donut away from a diabetic coma, always talking about what somebody got to do on the field, on the court, or somewhere else. They can't lift their thigh up to cross their legs, but they always got something to say about somebody else. Always. Guys that can't read green eggs and ham, but talking about how stupid somebody else is. Always. They always have something to say. And because of where they are in your life, in the caste system in which you reside, you fear their doggone judgment. And it did not occur to me until I stopped talking to my mother. How the hell is she going to tell me about degrees when she ain't got one? How's she going to tell me? For years, I'm sitting here with 3 degrees. She's still telling me about. You stopped at community college. You didn't even get an associate's degree. Why am I even concerned about your judgment and ridicule for some shit you couldn't do? You couldn't finish. And I have 3 degrees. Makes absolutely no sense now, but back then I'm listening to her wise counsel because of that doggone, yeah, you going, no. If you didn't do it, be quiet. I'm not listening to you. Okay, I'm not listening to a person that can't cook tell me how to make boil water. It's not going to happen. Number 3, lack of motivation or purpose. So without clear goals or a sense of purpose, people may lack the drive to keep pushing themselves to improve. Without clear goals or a sense of purpose, people may lack the drive to keep pushing themselves to improve. What are the 2 things I say? Don't do anything without a strategy, and don't do anything major without a why. Because shit gonna hit the fan. It is. And you don't have to remember your why. You have to text it to yourself, make it your phone, desktop, place it around the house, put it in the cloud, make your own audible and listen to it yourself. Because it's going, when you're growing continuously, oh yeah, it's going to be, just think about walking in a blizzard or a windy day or swimming upstream. Shit coming towards you because you got what they call headwinds. So you going this way and everything else is coming this way. You definitely gonna need something more than a you can do it. And I know Karen makes the impossible, but that's because you got a strategy and a why. You can't just be, I think I can, I think. The little engine was going up. It wasn't just sitting there saying it. Motion, movement. And so lack of purpose and no motivation, which is why I don't like the word motivation. Discipline will kick motivation in the ass every day of the week. Not something I'm gonna motivate you. No, motivation, just like showering, wears off and you need to do that shit again. You need to be motivated every day, just like you need to shower every day or bathe if you like baths. So lack of motivation or purpose gonna stop you from growing continually. Number 4, life circumstances and stress. And this is the one that the motherfucking unaccountable people love to fucking use. Life circumstances and stress. They don't understand. I don't have enough money. So financial issues, health problems, or relationship struggles can take priority over personal development. Financial issues, health problems, or relationship struggles can take priority over personal development. Now, if you are bedridden, if you are going through chemotherapy, if you got to get a prosthetic and all, yes, I understand those things. I had to get a bone marrow aspiration. Next day, bam, I'm back at work and with Nola doing my thing, and I couldn't even take no pain medication for it. When I had my stomach surgery. I'm still cleaning the wound, everything. Soon as it was supposed to take 3 to 6 months for me to get back to work. I was back to work in 7 weeks. It was supposed to take 6 months to a year for me able to be completely healed from using my abdominal muscles again, because they cut vertical, so they cut all my abdominal muscles. And I was back working out in less than 6 months, driving and everything. So I understand debilitating things that happened to you and you didn't plan for those things. And I was working on my doctorate at the doggone time. I still finished the program in 4 years instead of 5 years. So yes, circumstances can happen. I was going through a divorce, relationship issues. I started my doctorate in the middle of a doggone very messy ass divorce. I'm talking about little shit. I get these seasonal allergies. If you don't do a damn nasal rinse and take some Zyrtex and shut the hell up and go ahead and get this shit done, be quiet with that nonsense. Well, we're just not in love anymore. Okay, leave then. Leave. Okay? If you got relationship struggles, either work on that shit or end it. Don't keep struggling. So again, life circumstances and stress, financial issues. I had 65 cents for 3 weeks and I had to eat trick cereal to the point where it rubbed the roof of my mouth off. I have had negative balances in my doggone bank account and kept it pushing. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Okay? Inconsistent habits is number 5. Growth demands regular practice, reflection, and learning. Inconsistent habits. So growth demands regular practice, reflection, and learning. And people struggle with consistency or discipline. Many people struggle with it. Consistency and discipline. Why? Because there's always a holiday, a bat mitzvah, a bar mitzvah, a religious organization having an event, and you got sporting events and all day soccer and you league youth sports, and you got to watch your favorite sports. And there's always a professional sport going on right now, UFL, NHL, NFL, everything else under the sun. There's always something else going on to hinder your growth and development. Number 6 is a fixed mindset. We are hardwired for negativity, bias, and a fixed mindset. Everything is bad, and we're going to keep it that way. Don't change it, because we don't like change. The shit is fucked up. Like the craziest thing I ever heard of in my life. I don't like it, but I ain't going to change it. That's bad. But I ain't going to figure out how to make it good either, because I lack the neural pathways to seek best. And my working memory is currently unemployed. And it's been longer than 6 months, so it ain't even receiving unemployment benefits no more. So a fixed mindset. Some individuals believe their abilities or intelligence are unchangeable, which limits their willingness to grow. I'm going to say that again. A fixed mindset. Some individuals believe that their abilities or intelligence are unchangeable, which limits their willingness to grow. My mother comes back to my mind for this. So my mother, with her high school diploma from Mumford High School, 1967, literally believes that that's all she needs to know. But somehow I got to know more and more and more and more. And she's going to keep demanding that I know more and more and more and do more and more and more and make plenty of money. But she got a fixed mindset. And I'm her namesake and I got 50% of your DNA. Make that make sense. Makes absolutely no sense, right? Everybody with the fixed mindset telling the growth mindset people why the shit ain't going to work. It ain't going to work because your brain don't work. Your brain don't even work enough to see and remotely entertain what I'm doing. It don't make no sense to you. So why are you demanding that something be different if your fixed mindset can't process the difference? And number 7, burnout or fatigue. Constant striving without rest or balance can lead to exhaustion, making it harder to sustain growth. Number 7, burnout or fatigue. Constant striving without rest or balance can lead to exhaustion, making it harder to sustain growth. I will review them again. The reason why it's difficult for people to grow continually. Number 1, comfort zones. Number 2, fear of failure or judgment. Number 3, lack of motivation or purpose. Number 4, life circumstances and stress. Number 5, inconsistent habits. Number 6, fixed mindset. And number 7, burnout or fatigue. What questions, comments, observations, ahas, or anything do you have about why it is difficult for people to grow continually? And notice I have a brain tree growing as the background for today. I thought it was apropos. Again, if you are thinking, there we go. Thinking emoji. Hand clap of praise, because that was great information. And then as you're doing that, to summarize, continual growth isn't impossible. It just requires intentional effort and resilience. Continual growth, good morning, isn't impossible. It just requires intentional effort and resilience. What is that? Oil from somewhere. What did I have that was oily? Aha moment was inconsistent habits. Growth demands regular practice and commitment to it. Yes, it does. It really does. It is every single day. And what has to happen is, in order for you to grow, you literally have to prune the negative neural pathway that's stopping you from growing, whatever that is. If you need to lose weight, then you have to prune the I eat whatever I want and I'm going to die happy. that neural pathway. That's a long ass name for a neural pathway. But that's what you have to do. You have to make it. I woke up this morning and I found myself entertaining negative thoughts. And I said, you motherfucking neural pathway, I can't stand you, negativity bias. And then I had to do say some other things to prune it and chip it back and chip it back. It is by far the biggest, thickest doggone neural pathway in our brains. And you just chiseling it away. I feel like, what's his name? Who was the lumberjack that used the axe? I can't think of his name. John Henry. I think that's who it is. Regina, you also said it's easy to be inconsistent if you're not self-disciplined. Yes. Yes. So prune those neural pathways to negativity bias. It is the biggest neural pathway that you have in your brain. It is hardwired. And if you think about something that is hardwired there, as opposed to something that's wireless. Paul Bunyan. Yeah. Yeah, a man ain't nothing before I let that sting. I will die with the hammer in my hand. That's John Henry. I will die with the hammer in my hand. Yeah. Okay. I can see all factors. Thank you for the hand claps, Kevin. All factors has been challenging of many people and even myself. There is also Paul Bunyan. Yes. And so if you're wondering why you can't grow continually, here are some of the 7 reasons as to why it's stopping you. Because you could literally have and want to do this thing. You have that natural dopamine that says, yes, let's do this. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And then shit starts going left. That unaccountable family member calls you. Some person at your place of employment, a friend group's like, oh my God, this is terrible. We have to come together. James get a divorce. And next thing you know, it's been 4 years. And you ain't, that thing is over there like in the garage, like, you don't see me? All this dust and shit, come back over here and pick me back up and let's continue to grow forward. Okay, so here are 7 steps to grow continually. Number 1, you got to set clear goals. Again, don't do anything without a strategy. Don't do anything. It is because you have to create that new neural pathway. And so think of it like this. You have this very defined negative neural pathway and it's way up here. And now you're trying to get some neurogenesis or some neuroplasticity going. So every day you got to do like this and you got to come up here and clip this. You got to come back here and you got to clip this. And you got to come back here and you got to clip this. And you come back here because you got to cut it because it's so long. The pathway, if you cut it here, is not enough. So you got to clip, 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 prune it back. When you think of pruning, it comes, you got to clip, 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 clip. So you got to prune it back. And then this one, you got to be over here watering. You got to get some doggone manure. Shit's going to stink for real. Water it and everything else. And this one you are letting die. So you're not watering it. You're not letting it get sunlight. You might have to put a blanket on it, throw some fucking ice on it, some bleach or something. So that neural pathway could be like, use it or lose it. So it's gone. And so you are going to experience cognitive overload because you're doing 2 things at once, pruning and growing. And then you're going to look up and this thing is going to be growing. And then the more you prune, you're going to become proficient at pruning. You're like, clip, all right, grow, clip, grow. I got to go over here and prune this. It's going to take 2 minutes. I'm going to spend the rest of my day growing. Go over here, clip, prune, go back over here and keep growing. And then now you have a neural pathway that teaches you that I can prune. Prune. Time to prune. Where I got to go? Cut it, nip it. And now you have all of these neural pathways that are helping you grow forward. And that's all of Neuropability to give you those 74 principles for leadership for you to just access your best day in and day out. Yes, my negative pathways are the highways of downtown Atlanta during rush hour. And that is a great physical example for yourself. And you need to start looking for side streets because there's always that one street and it changes as people move. For us, it used to be Russell and now it's Jones. So you got to get off the highway and take the side streets. Is it going to take you longer to get there? Potentially, but are you going to have peace while you're on your way there? Absolutely. And I totally get that. And the more negativity bias you have, that traffic is going to look like that. But every day you're going to take a new route. You're going to say, fuck the I-75 and the I-85. I'm not getting on that bitch. I ain't getting on Peachtree and then nothing, because all that shit is going to be crowded. I'm staying away from Buckhead. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to take the route. I'll end up in Regatta, Georgia before I go through Atlanta. Whatever it is, there you go. No, I didn't live in Atlanta. I just was in the military, and I have people that live in Atlanta. So I know a little bit about it. And I went to a couple Freakniks. So I partied on I-75 on one of those ramps going up. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm from Michigan too. You know, you can take I-75 from Michigan all the way down to Florida. Yeah, that's what happened. I don't resemble, and I was not in the documentary either. Okay, I kept my clothes on because I was in ROTC, and I wasn't about to mess up my commission for Nan Luke or nobody else. Uncle Luke, he wasn't Uncle Luke at the time. But anyway, all right, I'm in Cincinnati. I got it, but you can understand the Atlanta traffic. Okay, cool. Do they still have Six Flags there? Wasn't it Six Flags that was in Cincinnati? Cedar Point is in I forgot what part. We used to go to Cedar Point every year when I was in Michigan. Okay, I digress. 7 steps to continually grow. Grow continually. Set goals. Don't do anything without a strike. Kings Island, that's what it is. Thank you. Set clear goals. Define what growth looks like for you. What are the skills, the mindset, personally, professionally, and the relationships that you want to have? So you get to define what growth looks like for you, because it's your growth. You get to decide what you're going to plant. You get to decide what's in season for you. You don't have to do anything else that anybody else is doing. We're looking at succulents now that have Venus flytraps attached to them to plant in our front yard. The plant I never knew existed. I think they're pretty when the plant blooms and then it grabs something and goes back in. And other than that, it looks like a cactus or succulent. So it's pretty cool. So plant whatever it is that you want to plant. Grow wherever you want to go. Define what growth looks like for you. How much time you should spend setting goals? It actually depends on what the goal is. So what happens is over here, I recommend 15 minutes a day or more of personal time. And in that personal time, you get to spend time with yourself and then decide what it is that you're going to be working on. The number one principle of real leadership is to hold yourself personally accountable and others. And you could do that through a 30-day challenge. Go to my website. You can sign up for that. Because right now, you can't set goals if you're not going to be personally accountable. I don't care what goal it is or how much time you spend on it. If you don't know how to be personally accountable, this shit's going to go left. So step one is learn how to be personally accountable. You go to the website. It's $30 a month. Well, $30 for the challenge. And when you finish, you get a certificate. That's my recommendation to you, because you can't even understand what unaccountability looks like because it doesn't have a description, a physical description. So you have to decide for yourself who's accountable and unaccountable in your life. All right, so you want to break those big goals into small actionable steps. Define what they are. And again, small actionable steps so that you can accomplish them and focus on them day in and day out until that's everybody's issue, Jared. There's 6.8 billion adults in the world not being personally accountable on a daily basis. So you got a lot of company that's with you, and they're everywhere in the world. Number 2, adopt a growth mindset. Adopt a growth mindset. We are hardwired for a fixed mindset, negativity bias, and we do not like the disruption. We want everything to be the same and safe because of what our ancestors passed down to us. So you must adopt a growth mindset and believe that your abilities can improve with effort and learning. Remember, one of the principles of real leadership is can makes the impossible possible. Can makes the impossible possible, but you have to believe it. That's why one of the 74 principles of real leadership is believe in yourself. And then you want to embrace the challenges as opportunities rather than threats. Embrace change is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So when you're changing and these challenges, these growth opportunities show up, you are not saying, oh my God, reading, saber-tooth tiger. No, you know you need to learn how to read. Math, oh no. That's why your finances aren't where they need to be, because you won't count 1, 2, 3. You won't add the 1 and subtract the 2. So yeah, it's going to feel challenging and you're going to experience cognitive overload, but you have to say, in order for me to get to my goal, I'm going to have to read every day. I'm going to have to wake up earlier. I'm going to have to learn financial management, financial literacy. I'm going to have to let go of my stuck money and my stins. So they're not threats. You are pruning. Get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, because it's stopping this from growing. If you have weeds around a new plant, it could suffocate it and make it die. So you don't want that. So you're removing all of the things that will stop you from growing. Number 3, learn consistently. ABLing, always be learning. Good morning, Kevin Jones. Always be learning. Always. Let me tell you when you can stop learning. You know when you can stop learning? The day after you're no longer here, or you do not have full, complete cognition of your brain. You don't have control of your brain. Those are only 2 times you can stop learning, okay? You ain't here or you're not here. That's it. Other than that, ABLing. If you wake up today and you go to bed and you don't have any new information and you didn't learn anything today was an epic fail. Your mission is to wake up every day saying, I'm going to learn 1 or more things. I'm going to go to sleep wiser than when I woke up this morning. That's Carl Munger. Rest in peace, Warren Buffett's homie. That passed. Okay? That's what's going to happen. So always be learning. Always be learning. Always. What's left after always? Nothing. Always be learning. So read, take courses, solicit feedback, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and explore new ideas. I stopped dating somebody because we went on the same date a year apart at the same spot. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this shit. You done ran out of ideas. Nope. We won't go on enough dates for me to be. This gonna go left. I already know it. Reflect regularly on what you've learned and how you can apply it. I take everything in. I process it, the good, the bad. Nothing is a coincidence. Rule number 38 from NCIS. So I learn from everybody what to do, what not to do, what to apply, what not to apply. I'm always taking information in. I can't watch a 23-minute comedy episode of anything without taking something away from it. I watched the episode of Caillou before and took something away from it. Not rest in peace. They don't show Caillou no more. It's a great show. But I don't care what it is. I'm looking. If it got people, plants, things, inanimate objects, I don't care. I'm going to say, okay, I could use that. That makes sense. And I'm going to make that connection, because I'm not getting this day back. I'm not getting this time back. So it better be worth my time. My most valuable, precious resource for me is time. Some people believe it's money, but money is renewable and time isn't. I'm not going to waste today, May 26, 2025, on some stupid shit. Okay. And number 4, develop positive habits. Develop positive habits. I actually have a video that talks about the sin tax and the win tax. It talks about you got this bad behavior, this bad habit. Here's how you can turn that habit into a good habit. So it's called the sin tax and the win tax. And so what happens is you establish routines that support your growth. You establish routines that support your growth. And you know what establishes and supports your daily growth? Daily personal accountability, neuropability, using the 74 principles of real leadership. There is nothing better on the face of the planet Earth. Nothing is going to get you to best but this. Nothing. You might get to 70%, but you're not getting to 100% day in and day out without daily personal accountability, neuropability, and the 74 principles of real leadership. And then you want to stay consistent. And the way to stay consistent is to practice daily discipline of holding yourself personally accountable day in and day out. Regardless of what anybody else in the world is doing, you stay consistent. You are growing your garden. You are growing you. So it doesn't matter what someone else is doing across the street, in the cubicle next to you at work, your family members. You are growing continually for yourself. It ain't for them. It's for you. You're going to benefit from your own growth and development. So who cares if their garden and their life and their mindset is all fucked up and it's broken and it's got weeds and everything? That's on them. Number 5, seek feedback and mentorship. Seek feedback and mentorship. Ask for honest feedback from other people with a growth mindset. With a growth mindset? I'm not going to my mama asking about, well, I don't talk to her no more anyway, but I'm not asking her about the brain growth mindset or nothing else, because she don't know. She was really good at fashion and home remedies. So there you go. Other than that, I'm not calling you and asking you about a damn thing. So don't just be talking to somebody because they old. They could just be an old fool, and that's it, and not have any new information whatsoever. And then you're going to learn from those ahead of you on the path that you want to follow. Those ahead of you. Yesterday, after an hour of research, I wore out ChatGPT and Grok on Twitter. They was sick of my ass. They was like, we don't have that. That don't exist. Just like yesterday with the Google search, they was like, if you search one, I know they wanted to come back and say, stop asking us questions. I was like, what about this? What about this? What about this? Finally, after no, they said brain coach. And it was telling me no. They said there's no brain person to tell you everything. You got to have a teacher, educator, and all of that. And I saw from that brain and coach and said, let me see. And I found a person, Jim Quick, is the #1 brain coach in the world, top brain coach in the world. Kevin had the pleasure of watching one of his 8-minute videos. Noah got to about 12 seconds into the video, and he is #1. Because remember yesterday I said, I don't know nobody. I don't know of it, but I found it yesterday. He has brain t-shirts on. He has a different niche than me, and people love him, and he is telling you all about the brain. And so I will be painstakingly reviewing his information to see what someone who's been doing this for 30 years has to offer me. Blessings and sin caffeine. No, don't, because I don't do caffeine anymore. But that's the only other person that I have been able to find that is even remotely resembling anything that I'm doing. Yes, he wrote Limitless. You wrote a book on this. Yes, I did write a book, Jared. It's the 74 Principles. It's Real Leaders Wear Pink. It has the 74 Principles of Real Leaders in it. Seek feedback and mentorship. Who is the brain coach? His name is Jim Quick. Jimkwik. And yeah, he's on social media, YouTube channel, podcast, and everything else. He's Asian, and he's been doing this for 30 years. His story is that he had a brain injury as a child, and then from there started learning about the brain. His thing is about limitlessness and speed reading and something else. He works with corporations and celebrities and all of that. So yes, Jim Quick is his name. So feel free to go and check him out. He's, like I said, he's 29 years and 5. You are familiar with him. He's 29 years and 5 months ahead of me with regards to talking about the brain. Not about everything else I'm talking about, specifically about the functionality of the brain. Okay. I have a different perspective than that, but you could go with that. Memorization and things like that. So I have a different perspective just because of knowing the backside of how industries work. Yeah, so that part. So the information that's being presented has some value for me. I will go through it and see what it is. Because again, I said the other day, don't have any role models. Nobody is ahead. No one's doing anything. And so I will take it for what it is worth. I'm not about to badmouth him or anything. He has a following, millions of people, books, all of that, and he has value in the world. Just, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Number 6, embrace discomfort and failure. Embrace. Yes, that is his story. That comic books are what helped him read, and he knew Stan Lee. So that is his story. Embrace discomfort and failure. Step outside of your comfort zone regularly. Step outside of your comfort zone regularly. And I say do it daily. And then view failure as a stepping stone to improvement. It's not a setback. Embrace discomfort and failure. Step outside of your comfort zone regularly. I say daily. View failure as a stepping stone to improvement. It's not a setback. Okay, so embrace discomfort and failure. And then number 7, stay balanced and reflect. Stay balanced and reflect. Take time to rest and recharge. Growth requires energy. Take time to rest and recharge. Growth requires energy. And as I've said, if you in a 16 to 18-hour day cannot get 15 minutes or more personal time with yourself, you got to get rid of a bunch of people. Embrace discomfort and failure daily. Where'd you get that? Yes, that's number 6. Number 7 is stay balanced and reflect. And then reflect on your progress regularly to stay aligned with your purpose. So number 7 is stay balanced and reflect. Take time to rest and recharge. Growth requires energy. And reflect on your progress regularly to stay aligned with your purpose. Okay, So the 7 steps are, and at this point, anything that stuck out for you, resonated with you, aha moments, questions, if I need to repeat one, let me know, because I'm going to finish up with the 7 benefits to grow continually. So the 7 steps are: set clear goals. Number 2 is adopt a growth mindset. Number 3 is learn consistently. Number 4 is develop positive habits. Number 5 is seek feedback and mentorship. Number 6 is embrace discomfort and failure. And number 7 is stay balanced and reflect. Okay, so what questions, comments, or anything do you have? Remember, ... because I can't see you. Brains, anything, emojis, just to let me know that you are thinking and reflecting. And then we're going to come on around third. Love the 7 steps. I'm going to buy the book. Jared, you would be better off doing a 30-day PA challenge. The book is just to enhance what you're doing. You would be better off doing a 30-day challenge, because your issue is personal accountability. So that will definitely create, you need new neural pathways created. Reading the book is like dessert, but it's not the main dish. And anybody else, feel free to chime in. For those of you who have the book versus a PA challenge, please assist Jared in his decision-making process. And Kevin Jones, are you still here, or did you do a drive-by? I guess if you drove by, I wouldn't answer. Can you send me the send and win tax, Regina? As long as you send me an email, because my perimenopausal self will not remember. So if you send me an email right now, then yes, ma'am, I can. Yes, I can. The challenges help you apply the principles in the book. Thank you for that, Miss Rogers. And she is of no relation to me. Nah, that's a lie. Okay. Anything else before we move on? Okay. I appreciate the section on feedback and mentorship. Yes. And what's interesting with these concepts is that if you just think about it on a whole, it just sounds simple. A, just grow continually. It sounds like, yeah, I could do that. But when you think about the steps that it takes, what it takes day in and day out to accomplish this thing, you're going to need new neural pathways. The old ones aren't going to work. Your old neural pathways got you to right where you are right now. And if you're sitting in shit show palooza, you are going to need a neural pathway overhaul. You're going to need a bunch of new neural pathways, a whole lot. Okay? And prune the other ones. They can't come where you're going. Y'all stay back there. In fact, use it or lose it. And if you don't use them, you lose them. Jared, just do it. You won't regret investing in yourself. There you have it from Regina. Thank you, Regina. All right. What are the benefits of grow continually? Number 1, increase self-awareness. Increase self-awareness. You better understand your strengths, your weaknesses, values, and purposes. And we know there's a principle of real leadership that says leverage your strengths and understand your weaknesses. And then it leads to wiser decisions and stronger personal identity. So where does your personality reside? Your amazing frontal lobe. In your amazing frontal lobe. So you are going to become more self-aware. You are going to use your frontal lobe. You're going to have access to the CEO of the brain, executive function, and you are literally going to be growing and be more self-aware. That's an amazing thing. So when you know who you are, the unaccountables can't tell you who you ain't. Number 2, you're going to have greater confidence. I keep saying it, and I will go to my grave saying it. Confidence is an inside-out job. The unaccountables got you thinking that you can go and buy it. So you work really, really hard to make a lot of money, and then you go buy all this shit, and you still end up with the confidence of a fruit gnat. And you can't figure out why. Because you don't have the neural pathways to confidence. Confidence is a neural pathway. Okay? If you do not create that neural pathway and do the work to become confidence, is self-confidence. Okay? If you are not confident in yourself, you can go to every store. You can put on an Audemars Piguet. You can do everything. You could pull up in the Woo and pull and wear it all and have everything under the sun and all the new sneakers and the heels and all the houses and everything else. And you're going to have the confidence of a fruit gnat. because it is an inside out job. So as you learn and overcome challenges, your belief in yourself deepens. As you learn and overcome challenges, your belief in yourself deepens. There was a time, if you had saw me I would say 18 years ago, 20 years ago in Michigan, 20 years ago in the winter, you would have thought I was a celebrity in Detroit. You would have been like, who in the hell is that with all that shit on coming up in here? Who is this? And I had a soror mistake. She's like, I didn't know that was you, girl. I thought she was a celebrity. In line, we were paying for our breakfast and getting ready to leave the original House of Pancakes. She's like, damn, I did not know that was you. And now you catch me with some assembled clothes on standing in Lowe's, and I got way more confidence now. And I had done the work. Trust me, I looked like a baller's girlfriend, but I was the baller. Okay, so not happening. And I had confidence back then too. But my point is, all of that on the outside, there was much more going on the inside than what you saw on the outside. And so now I don't even wear a watch, jewelry. I just wear earrings so my ears will not close up. But you can't give me in a bracelet, a chain, a ring, a watch, none of that anymore, because I don't have to have it. I'm me. I'm walking in. I'm the confidence. I'm walking in, and that's enough. Now, you become more capable of handling uncertainty and risk. When you have more confidence, shit that pops off, you are ready for it, ready, willing, and able to take care of it because of the work that you are doing daily while other people are waiting for the next holiday or the next payday. Number 3, it improves your relationships. So emotional improves relationships. Emotional growth helps you communicate better, empathize, and resolve conflict. Handle conflict when it occurs is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And your feelings, because you are assessing and addressing your feelings from your frontal lobe instead of your amygdala, you are able to communicate better. Communicate effectively is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and help others. So because you've helped yourself, you have the ability to help others, and all of your relationships will improve. You attract and maintain healthier connections with people because you are a healthier person yourself. It ain't two halves make a whole in a relationship. You need to become a complete person and then hold everybody that's going to be around you accountable to become a complete person as well. Number 4 is career and financial advancement. Career and financial advancement. Continual skill development keeps you competitive and adaptable, and it opens up new opportunities. Continual skill development keeps you competitive and adaptable, and it opens up new opportunities. Because of me continuously improving my skills at Frito-Lay, you got to remember when I got there, I was coming from the Army. I didn't know shit about food or beverage other than to drink it and eat it. And by the time I left, I was managing 43 facilities across 3 states, to include the whole state of Alabama. So that skill development allowed me to go from being a military police captain to an expert in food and beverage in supply chain optimization, taking raw materials, turning them into finished goods, and selling them in the marketplace. And it gets you, even if you're just doing it for promotions, entrepreneurship, or higher income, because you are continually growing skill development. And be technically competent is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, which is also going to allow you the growth opportunities that you need to grow continually. Number 5 is a mental and emotional resilience. And so I've had emotional in here 5 times. I got to find a word to replace this. Mental and emotional resilience. You build the ability to face setbacks, adapt, and bounce back. When you have the mental and emotional resilience, you build the ability to face setbacks, adapt, and bounce back. Why? Because your working memory is allowing you to problem solve. It is there saying, oh, okay, we need to do this. And you have the technical skills to actually be able to solve those problems and the wherewithal to sustain strong wins, because what principle of real leadership allows you to do that? Swim upstream. And then it reduces anxiety and increases inner stability. Because you have this high functioning brain, you will not go into your limbic system, into your amygdala, and hijack your own amygdala. Go, oh my God, what are we going to do? You won't do that. You'll say, hi, what's the problem? Okay, cool, got it. We'll be back. Because you don't do anything without a strategy. And you got to have your why. Why am I growing? Why am I sitting here eating trick cereal for 3 weeks? And because I only had 65 cents. And at that time, I had 18 credits Because my scholarship didn't pay for summer school and I had to graduate in 4 years, I literally had 18 credits of 400 level criminal justice and political science classes. And I had to buy, my stipend for my book wasn't enough. I had to use my $150 ROTC. By the time I did all that, all I had was money left for milk and cereal. And I knew, I just said, this is it. It's my last winter semester in college. I got one more semester and I'm done. So being able to have that inner strength, I wasn't anxious at that time. And I made the dean's list, if I'm not mistaken, that semester. Number 6, greater fulfillment and purpose. Greater fulfillment and purpose. Growth aligns you with what truly matters to you and nobody else. What truly matters to you. If you look at any of your government IDs, your state ID, your driver's license, your work ID, your passport, social security card, it just has your name on it. It don't have your people's name on it. It don't have your spouse, your insignificant other, your significant other, your children, your nieces, your nephews. It just has your name on it. That means it's just you. It's you versus you. And your growth allows you to focus on what truly matters for you. When in doubt, motherfuckers start talking shit, just pull your government ID out. And if there's a group photo, matching pajamas for Christmas, then hey, it matters. But if it's only you, then it's only you that it matters to. And life feels more meaningful, satisfying, and intentional when you grow continually. You have a reason to wake up, and you don't need, oh, is somebody getting married today? Or we going to an event? It's Friday. We getting ready to turn up. We getting ready to go to the concert. No, I'm going to just get up today and I'm going to read. I'm going to go live. I might mop the floor downstairs, but whatever I do, I'm going to be fulfilled because I know what my purpose is. And then number 7, lifelong curiosity and joy. Always be learning. Lifelong curiosity and joy. You stay curious, engaged, and open-minded. I am open-minded. As much trauma and all kind of shit that's happened to me, I still wake up optimistic and open-minded about the future for however long I have left on this earth. And life becomes an ongoing adventure rather than a fixed routine. I started my adult life as a second lieutenant in the military police corps. My first duty assignment was Daegu, Korea. I now live in Las Vegas in the suburb, and I help my daughter with furniture assembly, sports advising, and I'm teaching people how to use their brain based upon the 74 principles of real leadership that I created, with a little bit of perimenopause tapped into there too. Now, when in 1996, June of 1996, you could have told me, here's where you're going to be in damn near June of 2025. No, I'm doing 20. I might even be General Thomas when this is all said and done. And no, but it has been an amazing ride because I got there 5.5 years in. I said, yeah, this ain't going to work. I'm out. Almost 10 years at Frito-Lay. It's just chips on the truck. Let me go do something else. And it has been an amazing adventure. I have seen a lot, done a lot, met a lot, left a lot, and I wouldn't change an damn bit of it at all. That is the 7 benefits to growing continually. So you have 3 things that you're going to do. Whatever resonated with you in those benefits, type that in and then answer the 2 main questions that happen every day. What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? But before you do any of that, brain, something to let me know that you are still there, the chat is still enabled for me, and that you didn't fall asleep to my amazing voice, because it has happened. Recently, it hasn't happened, though. This group is different. The other group, when I was talking about a myriad of other different things in regards to real leadership, used to fall asleep more. So I guess you all are wiring your brains to not go to sleep when you hear my voice. So what are your takeaways from the benefits? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? All things, all the big and the small things. Does you know? Can I get a dot? Can I get a what? Can I get a brain emoji? Thank you, Regina. And I responded to your email as well, Regina. I did find some other research. You actually don't need the patent for the equation. I had to research further because that was the information I originally had. And I've researched some more. And so it is what you said. Yep. Thank you for the brain. My amazing offspring. That was a lot. I didn't think I was going to get it done today. 21 different things. 21. On today's PA and Real Leader Brain comes from number 1, taxing. So I made that a PA and the Real Leader Brain. Learner. Nola said, I learned about myself. I have a growth mindset. Jared said, my takeaway is that I need to prune negative habits. And it's actually called negativity bias. And we are actually hardwired for it. Unfortunately, from our ancestors, it's been passed down for thousands and thousands of years. Kevin said, I don't think we ever covered the benefits of growing continuously. So this was good information. Right. We haven't got, when I did the overview of it, we briefly covered it. But yes, it is something that needs to happen, and we don't talk about it enough. Because we people talk about growing money, but very few people talk about growing your mind and the daily commitment that it actually takes. Regina, I liked watching you demonstrate pruning and growing pathways. As a visual learner, it was exciting to see. Thank you for that. And I was extemporaneously, is not in my notes, and I did not prepare for that at all. I learned the reasons people won't grow and always be learning. Let me do the poll results while you all are still doing your thing. And the poll results are, do you grow continually? And 87% of the people say yes, 12% of the people said no. And you can think that you grow continually, and I understand why you would think that. And then when you understand, and as I mentioned yesterday, I forgot who I was speaking to yesterday, I think it was Graham. What happens in the land of Loserville with unaccountable people is that 70% is passing. And I had someone over a year ago say C's get degrees. That's what they were told when they were in college. And it's true, unfortunately. And so unaccountables are focused on, it's done, I'm accountable, but best. And when you think about be the best, and that's one of the 74 principles of real leadership, it takes more effort to be the best. Be your best day in and day out. It is going to take new neural pathways. You won't be able to do it with your current level of neuroplasticity or neuropability. In my head, I have to really think about it because I will mix them up. You can't get there. You're going to have to create the neural pathway to grow continually, because the world is set up to stop. 5 days for a work day, for a work week, in theory, 2 days off. Might not be Saturday and Sunday. School is out for most people. If on the East Coast is becoming ready for it to get out, college students are back home and they have 80 days, 81 days of a break before it starts again. And then you have holidays and you have the weekends and you have vacations. And so it's not set up for growth. It's set up for comfort. And I understand that crops, you have different types of farms, but you're always working on the farm. You're always doing something. If you have a milk farm or anything, and you have to keep growing because things are growing. You have to prune things back in order for things to grow. Safe auto, bare minimum wage cover. Yes, that's what it is. So it is 70%, and that's it. And over here, it's 100%. You have to wake up every day and give 100%. And there are unaccountable people in the world that will tell you it's impossible. And that's because they don't have the neurological pathways to believe that can makes the impossible possible. And it's not 100%. Some days, if I am having an allergic day, my 100% that day is to keep doing what it is that I'm doing. So it will not be the same 100% in the same way, but it will be your best every single day. We got to get out of our comfort zones. You actually do. You have to destroy your comfort zone. There's absolutely no way that you are going to become your best in a comfort zone. Never seen it happen. Never. And Kevin, learn growth takes commitment. It does take daily commitment. 100% daily commitment. Not like the 4 agreements. No, this is nothing like anything else that exists in the world. And while I can appreciate you wanting to use somatic markers to understand it, Regina, if you could help me out here and explain that this is difficult for you to understand. And so when she first started, if I may, may I have permission to say when you first started your thoughts on personal accountability before I say it? Kevin, yes, you said growth takes commitment. Regina, I have been experiencing some of the benefits of growing continuously since participating in the PA and Daily Challenge. There you go. So I didn't read what you said. And so that's what she's saying, is that you can't use somatic markers right now. Okay, so when Regina first started, and Regina's a retired school teacher, and when she first started, and I give you context of that because teachers teach, so they have a different level of understanding when they are being taught. And when she first started, she couldn't grasp the concept of personal accountability because it's different than accountability. Accountability says, I'm going to pay my bills, I'm not going to commit any crimes, I'm going to go to work, do my job, retire, and die. And that makes me accountable, and people want to wear that as a badge of honor. But personal accountability says that I am accountable and responsible for all that I do and all that I fail to do. And I understand that whatever I'm failing to do is stopping me from best. And that's my objective. And best is in everything. I'm going to make up my bed the best way I can. I'm going to make the best meals possible. I'm going to be in the best physical shape of my life. And in addition to that, I'm not going to stop where I currently am. I'm going to best and move on, best and move on. So I create this life of best. And it's difficult to process this because you need to create it. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? That's how it seems like, but I think I'm doing that. And what happens is you have no idea what trauma you've buried, what challenges that you said, I'm not doing that, all of your comfort zone things. When you take the 30-day challenge, you are going to be with you yourself personally and find out all of the things that are stopping you from being your best. You, Jared, have a different group of unaccountable people in your life than Regina does, than Kevin does, than I do, than Nola does, than the other Kevin, than Graham, or anybody else that's on here. Your day-to-day life looks different. All of our day-to-day life looks different. And that's why personal accountability is different, because it ain't cookie cutter. That's why 74 principles of real leadership. So think of them as tools. People go in Lowe's and they buy the same tool they buy a drill, an impact driver. I'll say drill because impact driver you don't use for everything. So you go with, and let me use simpler tools, a screwdriver and hammers. Hammer and screwdriver. You go in Lowe's, you get a hammer, you get a screwdriver, and you leave. And what you build with that screwdriver and that hammer is not what Regina is going to build, it's not what Kevin is going to build, and it's not what I'm going to build. But we all have a screwdriver and a hammer, and we're using it for different purposes. So that's why when you have these cookie cutter approaches, the 4-hour work week, the 4 agreements, and everything else, it's telling you this is the result that you should get. And I'm saying your result is going to be customized. I'm saying your grow continually is going to look different than my grow continually. Your can makes the impossible possible is going to look different. If you can read, and I had to teach myself how to read, our cans are different. But if you can't cook and I can cook, your can makes the impossible possible, means you're going to make a whole complete dinner from scratch. So it's these resources and these tools that you use to make your life best. And that's why there's 74 of them. And you can combine all of them. It's personal accountability. My personal trauma is not my daughter's personal trauma. It's not Kevin's personal trauma. So it's different for everybody. And that's why I don't describe it. There is no physical picture of a person. This person is unaccountable, because whoever is unaccountable in your life may not be the same unaccountable person. I don't have an unaccountable child, but there are people who do. I had a cheating ass unaccountable spouse, and so I no longer have a spouse because he was unaccountable. So you have to decide for yourself who needs to stay and who needs to go, what you need to keep and what you need to prune. So that's why it's difficult to grasp it, because everybody else, I'm an educator, not a coach, not a therapist, and none of that thought leadership. I'm saying this works. And you got to use your brain to do it every single day. And that's the difference between me and everybody else. Today is 569 days of me going live consecutively. I've been posting on Instagram every day since December 16th of 2015. So God willing, I will be at 10 years in December of posting every day on Instagram. I'm in my 11th year of a book challenge of reading a book a week. So I'm better than them when it comes to all of this. I'm walking the walk. This isn't some seasonal shit that I'm just doing. It's part of who I am day in and day out. I'm not going to get off live and be like, yeah, I ain't that shit. This is not This is my life purpose. This is my personal legend. This ain't some shit I do to make money, because I don't even really make money doing this. But this is why I'm here, to plant trees for which shade I will never sit. So I know your brain wants to process it, but you just got to, like Nike, Phil Knight, just do it. Because it's not going to be, you've never done this before. I guarantee it. And Kevin said, myself, I have to add more reflection into my life to establish greater balance. This is the missing element in my continual growth. You got to schedule it, Kevin. You got to schedule it, and you got to stick to it and protect that time. We talked about that in the previous live, and you have to protect it. So here's what I will say. I cannot not say well, because I'm bursting at the seams. So Jim Quick has a lot of information about the brain. I agree. 30 years, some information about the brain. What happens is, and I'm not saying that this is what happened to him in particularly, because I watched some of his video today because it has the information that I want. But what happens is, people have an idea. They start out what appears to be small. If you looked at me, you would think it was small. It's hunormic and galaxpheric. And then they get a team. And as Mark Twain said, small things can be made big with enough sales and with enough marketing and advertising. And so then what happens is, a team is put around you and a narrative is created. And this is the system. I'm telling you, the system. And so you have to have a story that resonates with people. Because of negativity bias, it has to be a, oh my God, but look at you now story. And so it has to start as a victim, as a person that needed something. And then because this bad thing happened and I was able to overcome it, let me tell you how I did it. I used to have my story on my website and it didn't read nothing like anybody else's, and I took it off because that's inconsequential, because it's personal accountability. What it got replaced with was the theory of personal accountability, because that was how it's developed. So in my research of Jim Quick, after I see what everybody says on the internet, y'all know me, I go straight to LinkedIn. Ain't nobody about to lie on LinkedIn. Wikipedia, you got to do some other stuff, but you don't have to tell the truth over there. So I made my assessment and I said, okay, this is the closest person that's been doing this thing longer than me, so I am going to research it. No, I'm not going to follow anything. I'm not subscribing, purchasing, or anything else. I'm going to take the information that is available to everybody and I am going to assess it. And I have an initial hypothesis, and then I will go and see where this takes me. But once you get that story together, there is marketing packages that are put together, storylines, website is developed, the stories, the programs, and everything else. That's why if you go to my website, I am getting ready to switch it over because the functionality of WordPress is too much. I am getting ready to switch it to GoDaddy, so the format will change, but I will not be using that parallax theme that everybody's using from 2012. They don't know it's from 2012. I do, because that's where it originated. And now you have these packages, link trees, and all these things that come together to make this brand. And the one thing that I will say that is giving me a point of notification is, I quote the same exact people all the time. It's not a lot. You go on my page, it's nothing but Dr. Donna quotes. He has broadcast channel. I got a broadcast channel, YouTube, all these things that are there. But what I look at is the amount of content that is available. That's what I look at. You got followers, got to check. The unaccountable things, check the box, because that's what unaccountable people look for. But I look for the amount of content. And then I look for the amount of original content. And that's what I'm paying attention to, because you're saying this is you and this is your thing. So I'm looking for, where is it your thing and where is it the team's thing? So I understand economic development. Kevin has businesses. I appreciate people hiring people and everything else. But I have to look at you and what your capabilities are. And because I did the work for my sister behind the scenes, and I know how to build a brand up to make it look like this person is the person doing the work, I'm getting those vibes. I wrote 3 out of the 4 of my sister's books. I am the one who wrote the shot list and filmed and went to the studio to film all of her 52 weeks worth of Club E videos. I'm the one who posted her social media 6 times a day and kept a log of how many people did what. I'm the one that took the Facebook page from 500 people on Friends to almost 26,000 people on Facebook. So I know how to do it and I know when it's being done. And when it's presented, everybody sees it and it looks like potentially that person is the one that's doing it. So because I did it, because I have to do it for myself, I'm choosing to, I know what that looks like. So yes, the images that you see, the information that's being presented appears to all be value added, and the narrative in theory matches the story. There are some holes that I see because I'm behind the scenes that I'm saying, okay, let me just see what the information is. So while, yes, there is information being presented, yes, that is potentially the story, for me, knowing how things actually operate behind the scenes, I'm going to say, yes, it appears for you all that that's what's taking place. For somebody that has done it and seen it, there is some information that I will extrapolate. And so I will leave it at that. I'm not bad mouthing him. I'm not bad mouthing the system that was created. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the information that he has and that that story didn't take place. I am saying when you push things to the top, things get pushed to the top. And there is a whole team behind it to make it look that way. And it's great because were it not for the team pushing it up, then I wouldn't have been able to search the information and see that this is the #1 brain coach in the world. And that's that. Okay, so hopefully you understand what I am saying, and did everybody answer what they learned and everything else? So yes, this person has 30 years worth of brain information in particular categories, and that information is ready. Now, what I did do was 30 years is 10,000 and something days. So I did assess if this is 10,000 and some odd days worth of research and information. Yes. And so, yeah. So I'm looking at, and we know when someone says I've been doing something for 30 years, I convert that into days and I get a different number. And then I assess it from that daily number because personal accountability is in your daily. Remember, there's only 2 types of people in the world for me: those who hold themselves personally accountable to become their best, and those who don't. And that's what I look at. 10,000, let me do it because my brain is having a cramp. Normally I could do that. 10,950 days. So 10,950 days of doing something. What does that look like? If I tell y'all I've been in leadership since I was 15 years old, so we talking 37 years, some change, somewhere around there, I doth think not that you go, she can't lead her way out of a wet paper bag. I have stories from the initial getting fired as a squad leader as recently as yesterday, and all points in between. This is a varied life existence. If I say from the PTA to the boardroom, anyone can lead because that's what's on in real leadership, then yes, that information is absolutely 100% true. So when you start talking about decades of doing this thing, then I got to start looking at the days of doing this thing, and does that match up? And the jury is out on all of that. So yes, so that's how that goes, and that's what I will leave it at. Yes, so thank you so much for your time today. I would like to say take a moment of silence for those who served this country and did not make it home safely back to their family members. It is in memoriam. Today is a day of mourning for people who have lost their loved ones. As a person who spent 5.5 years of their life in the Army and who has spent the last 24 years recovering from PTSD and everything else, go ahead and if you know somebody who has lost a person through serving this country and laid down their life on the line for this country, go ahead and take a moment of silence for them. I'm not participating in any of the sales. I don't know how the fuck selling the goddamn television got to people dying for this fucking country. Not sure how capitalism adulterated that process, but yeah. So no Memorial Day deals over here for us. And I think it's a disgrace to the country to do something like that. I fucking definitely don't like it on Veterans Day, but I really don't like it on Memorial Day. People don't have siblings and dads and mothers and children for this day. But Target has a television on sale. BOGO on some shit. And that's just my thoughts on Memorial Day. So no. Do we need to go to the grocery store and buy things? Yeah, we are off on Mondays and we need to go grocery shopping because this is the day that we do that. But buying some shit on sale for somebody who lost their life, that math don't never math for me. It never, you're not going to convince me that should make sense of all the holidays that this country celebrates. I think that that's the most horrible one to do. Capitalism. Yay. Good job. Okay. With that being said, take a moment of silence in your personal time and just, send a prayer out for somebody who doesn't have a loved one anymore because they laid their life down for this country. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all take care. Adios.